Hello, beautiful. I've been sitting with this entry for a while now, and it's not because I don't have anything to say. It's because I'm still in it. And sometimes when you're still in the middle of something, it's hard to know where to start. So I'm just going to start where I am. Now what? That's the question I keep coming back to after everything. After the shock and the grief and the questions and the anger, after all of it starts to settle into something quieter, you kind of find yourself standing there asking yourself, now what? And here's what I figured out so far. Rebuilding is slow, slower than I expected. It's not glamorous. It doesn't look like breakthrough moments and revelations. It looks like, honestly, a regular old Tuesday where you're just trying to hold yourself together and taking it one step, one day at a time. This reminds me of First Peter chapter 5, verse 10. It says that after you've suffered a little while, God will himself restore you, confirm you, strengthen you, establish you. I have been holding on to that verse a lot lately because it doesn't promise fast. It doesn't promise easy. It just promises that he's in it with you and that he will finish what he started. For me, rebuilding has looked like a few things so far in this season. For one, it's been my health. I live with chronic illness, and what I've learned through this season is that my body has been carrying this story, whether I gave it permission to or not. There are days where I can barely get out of bed, and that maybe it was just a regular flare up. But looking back on it, my body, it was responding to everything that my mind was trying to manage. Like it was a lot of tension. It was grief, the constant processing, it all lived somewhere. And for me, a lot of it lived in my body before I even had words for it. And what I'm learning is healing isn't just spiritual. It's not just a mental, it's not just a emotional thing. It is a physical thing. And I have had to learn to tend to my body the same way I'm learning to tend to everything else. Slowly, with intention, not rushing it. Some weeks that means rest is the most productive thing that I do. And I've had to make peace with that. Rebuilding has also been taking care of my mental health because adoption discovery doesn't just shake your identity, it rewires how you think, how you trust, how you process. And I started noticing patterns I didn't have language for before. And now I'm able to articulate and communicate. The way I'd shut down in certain conversations or the way that I would over explain myself to people who didn't ask. The way that I could be in a room full of people and still feel like I was standing on the outside looking in. I've had to be honest with myself about really not being okay when I'm not okay. Not just being honest with other people, but literally, genuinely with myself because I got very good at performing fine. And adoption discovery has a way of pulling the mask off, whether you're ready for it or not. Part of rebuilding for me has been learning to sit with what's actually there and happening instead of managing how it looks from the outside. Another part of my rebuilding has been my faith. I'm not rebuilding my faith from scratch per se, but I'm rebuilding from a more honest place because before discovery, my faith was real. I believed, I prayed, I trusted God, but there were places in my faith that were built on a foundation that was incomplete. And when my story shifted, some of those foundations cracked, not because God failed, not because I failed, but because I was standing on something that wasn't fully true. And I have been leaning heavily on Psalms 23, verse 3, when it says, He restores my soul, because I have had to remember that it's not saying He will someday, it's saying He restores. That means He does. That's present tense. So, in the middle of the mess, in the quiet, even on the days where I don't feel it, He's still in the work, in the process of restoring. And for me, restoration has looked like letting God into rooms that I kept locked, like the anger, the doubt, questions that I thought were too honest or too raw to pray or say out loud. It turns out He can handle it all. And I just want you to know that He can handle it all. He will handle it all. Another part of rebuilding for me has been really looking at my family. The family I had before all of this happened, they were here. They were here first. In the middle of all of this discovery work, after adoption discovery, it tends to be easy to let everything else blur. You're in so deep in your own unraveling that the people standing right next to you start to feel far away. Not because you stopped loving them, but because you're carrying something that they can't fully see and that they can't fully understand when you express it. And these relationships, these ones that were there before the truth ever came out, they matter. They need tending to. I've had to learn how to be present with my family while still being honest about what I'm walking through. That's attention. It doesn't always feel balanced, but I'm learning to tend to my healing and tend to my family and know that they're not two separate things. They're very connected. When I show up more whole, even just a little bit more whole, everyone around me feels it. Now, speaking of family, I want to say something about reunion because I know it comes up, and I know for a lot of women who are late discovery adoptees, it's the first question people ask once they find out they were adopted. Have you found them? Are you going to look? Do you want to find them? Do you want to meet them? And honestly, I answer with, I'm not pursuing reunion right now. And it's a personal decision rooted in where I am with my health and with my life. And I want to be very clear about something. That decision is not avoidance. It's not denial. It is discernment. There's a a difference between not being ready and not being willing. And sometimes the most honest thing you can do is to say, not right now. And I am owning that I don't owe anyone an explanation for that. And you should too, because you don't owe anyone an explanation for that. Whatever you decide about reunion, whether you pursue it or pause it or decide it's not right for you at all, that decision belongs to you. Don't let anyone rush you into feeling something you are not ready for. Don't let anyone else's timeline become your pressure. You are allowed to move at the pace of your own healing. So, sis, if you're standing in that quiet place right now, asking yourself the same question I've been asking lately, what now? I want you to hear me. You do not need the whole map. You just need the next step. And sometimes the next step is just staying still and knowing He's God, staying honest, staying present, living inside of the moment, staying in the care of a God who promised He would finish what He started in you. Because He restores, not someday, not when you've earned it, not when you've figured it all out. Right now, right here, you. Until next time, sis.